What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time tuning in, please be sure to smash the subscribe button. If not, thanks for your continued support. Be sure to always give this video a like, comment below, and if you guys have any questions, please follow me at Pancis on Instagram, or I will try to reply to some of your comments if I can. Today we are back at it here with my 2002 Saab 9.3 convertible, and a couple videos ago we did a compression test and discussed a little bit of an oil light that comes on when the engine is super hot and super extreme heat weather. You know, the oil thins out. I don't know if it's a faulty sensor, if it's an oil pump issue, if there's other scenarios going on internally. But in today's video, what we're going to do is just straight up drop the pan. I ordered new seals for the internals, for the sump pump, and for the return feed line that's going inside there. There are seals that can go bad. They have been replaced, but who knows, maybe it was a faulty seal or whatever it might be. But it was done a couple years back, so, you know, who knows. We're just going to go in there. This repair costs under $50 and with a fresh oil change. And, of course, we're going to go ahead and clean out the pan and make sure everything is okay under there. So let's get into it. Stay tuned. If you guys have been following the channel for quite a little while here, we've done oil pan drops quite a few times on these Saabs. It's really not that difficult. It's really just a tedious process, but once you get the hang of it, you can do this whole thing within 3 hours. Really not that hard. First things first, we're going to remove this cross feed here. This is the bypass valve. We're going to remove the cover. We'll drop the 3 screws that hold up the exhaust. Then we'll go underneath there and release the exhaust, drop it completely out of the way, and then of course drain the oil, probably drain the oil first, and then do all this. And then you go ahead, you remove, there is a transmission cover, you remove the cover, and then of course over here on the passenger side, you got to remove the wheel and some of the inner fender, inner wheel well coverings to access some of the bolts on the passenger side for the oil pan. And then you just simply go on up in there and unscrew the pan, drop it down. You lift up the transmission a little bit on the 9.3 here. It's maybe a little bit different than on the 9.5, but you drop that, raise it up a little bit, and then of course you're good to go and it clears out. So pretty straightforward. Let's get into it. Well, there you go, boys. A little update for you. Got the exhaust down. Got the transmission cover out. So here you are. We got a clean shot now at the oil pan. You can see we're actually starting to seep oil around the edges. So it was actually probably about time that we pulled the pan and redid the seals here. I mean, it looks pretty good. It's been a couple years, maybe 3 years since it's been done, but you know, old Saabs and their corkiness, not that bad. Seen it much worse, but not a bad thing. We're getting in here and redoing some of the oil seals on the gasket. You guys can see it's not coming from above, it is coming from the oil pan. So that is something that we will address. Another inspection, which is a good sign, is there's the bottom of the turbo. It looks to be in good shape. Typical rust, but no oil. And yeah. So there is an update for you. Let's see how this goes now. Alright guys, here is a view of the side. Probably just going to go ahead and quickly get those screws out of the oil pan on this side since I'm here. Looks pretty good for the age. Nothing too alarming. There's some oil up over here, but that's like right on the seam of where the oil pan and gasket is. So that could just be related to the oil pan gasket. Don't really see too much oil on the top here. Slight bit of oil, not much. Could be coming from the head. Maybe just do a head retighten next time I'm in there, but nothing really too alarming. So I'm probably just gonna leave it the way it is for now. Let's just get in there. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts to remove. This is a little bit easier on the 9.3 than on the 9.5, thankfully. So we'll hop in it. Gonna jack up the engine. Alright guys, so here is the pan. Some of these crumbs here, these bits of pieces like this right here, that's actually from me just disassembling from the car. It's not from the engine per se. It all just kind of was caked up crud in between the engine and the oil pan. So like all this stuff here, that just fell in there. It's not from the engine. So let's go ahead. I'll remove this and we'll see what it looks like. Alright guys, clean oil pan. This is the only thing that I found in here. That does not look good to me. But there is nothing sludging up on the bottom, just this little bit of grime here. I don't really know what that's from, to be honest. It looks like it could be from the engine itself. Some of the internals falling apart. Or it could have been something else. I'm trying to be optimistic here. So let me guys know what your thoughts are on this one. It's not that much, and as you can see, the screen is clean, so that's a good thing. But yeah, so that is the only thing I found. It was bunched up here, which is odd because there's no magnet there, so I don't know what it's from or how long it's been sitting there for. I just do know that the bottom of the pan was clean. And we have a high mileage engine. If that's all that was here, which I just now scattered everywhere, I'm not too concerned. I think I've seen worse. So let me know what you guys' thoughts are. And I'm gonna go run out to the store, get some cleaners, and we'll get back to this. There's the seal for the sump pump. You can see it wasn't This isn't too rotted out from when we replaced it. So we'll put a new one on there. All right, so we got the pan all taken care of, cleaned. Everything looks really good there. Like I said, there was some grime in that one little corner earlier you saw, but I don't really think it was all too alarming or concerning. Obviously there's some wear. We have an old engine, but nothing crazy. So hold on, I'm gonna show you something else. All right, so a lot of you guys have also seen me talk about the oil return line. That is this guy right here, and the seals seem to be pretty solid on there since we did it last, but there you go, I just pulled it out. We'll replace this one as well and go from there. So one promising thing was I just removed the seals from the return line. I got new ones here. Was that these things should be super rubbery, and the seals were a little bit hardened, so maybe that could attribute to some of the oil light. Despite some of the grit we found in the pan, I don't think there was a lot of grit. I just want to keep convincing myself there wasn't, because I've seen much worse. So I'm just gonna stick to my guns on that one. But yeah, so I'm hoping that these new seals will help, and you know, that's about it. I mean, the oil light situation isn't that bad at this point, so I'm not too concerned. I mean, at 100 degrees, which is only a month a year out of the year here, am I getting an oil light? So if I need to start using a thicker oil or whatever, maybe we'll do that. But I don't know, guys. I don't want to go and replace any of the maybe I might have to go in there, guys, and pull the pan again and replace the main bearings. They might be worn out a little bit. So yeah, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. All right, boys, so everything is cleaned. That surface is cleaned. The car surface is cleaned. Now we got this 518 gasket maker flange sealant, which is a Loctite. So Loctite, this stuff is like the high heat stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and now apply it. Go ahead and reinstall everything. All right, boys, so camera died. The oil pan is in. I just got to torque everything down. Word from the wise, this is how you know this is improv and I haven't gone and reviewed any of my previous videos or even looked up on Google how to remove the oil pan from a 9.3. Obviously, it's way different than the 9.5, just a little bit. So, two mistakes were, one, I removed the engine mount on this side. Did not need to do that. All you need to do is remove the front bolt that holds the subframe on, and then just wedge a pry bar in there and lower that bar down a little bit, enough to sink the oil pan and clear the transmission. Obviously, if you guys saw in the video a little bit, I was struggling, but then I was like, wait a minute, if I just lower that subframe on the passenger side, it will clear the rest of the transmission. And of course, as you see, that's exactly, and of course, as you can see, that's exactly how it looks. And so now the rest of this time lapse will be just me torquing everything down, getting this thing back together. Should be pretty straightforward. Really not that hard. I was 2 hours coming off and probably about 2 hours putting back together with a little bit of give or take some time there. I think, you know, if I didn't have that one hiccup there with the subframe, probably could have breezed through the disassembly in an hour and a half. Probably wasted a half hour. Okay, let's do it.
Sit
Alright guys, so before I wrap up the top here, everything underneath is all wrapped up except for one thing. I'm going to go ahead and just change out the oil filter since we have fresh oil in the engine. We were due and scheduled for an oil change, so it was all kind of planned around that, which was perfect. So let's just go ahead, I'll change that, and then we'll wrap up the top, give it a start, let you guys in on it. Alright boys, everything's buttoned up, checked off, added some fluid to the oil pan there with the oil. All the tools have been placed aside and put away. Guys, she's looking good. Exhaust sounds good. No oil leaking underneath. That should be a wrap, boys. Let me get it outside. I got a couple things to wrap up. I'll put the car down and we'll pull it out. Alright guys, I am editing the video right now and just realized I forgot to shoot a little bit of an outro to you guys. So I just wanted to give you one last good start. The vehicle has been driven 18 miles so far since we pulled the pan. The wifey has been driving it today to run her errands, and besides for a little complaint of the smell of the fresh gasket that I probably left somewhere on the exhaust manifold or whatever it is, she says is running really good. And of course, as you can see, she is running good, sounds really good, and everything's normal. So drop your comments below, let me know what you guys' thoughts are with the little bit of grit I found in that pan. Also remember, if you're gonna do this job on an OG 9.3, don't remove the driver's side engine mount and waste time like I did. Just remove the one bolt that holds that subframe in the front there and just put a pry bar in there, pull it down, and that thing will clear. Obviously you gotta jack up the engine a little bit on the transmission, but that's about it for that. Different than the 9.5, so take that for note, save yourself some time, and see you guys in the next video. We got some really exciting news coming this week. I hope it happens this week, but I suspect a new project car being launched this week, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. A lot of fun stuff going on, and of course, as always, if you have any questions, follow me at Pancis on Instagram. See you guys next time. Talk to you.